students, welcome to this session. In this session I will be explaining the topic called as bubble sort and its algorithm. Previously I gave you a problem. I gave you some set of numbers and asked you to solve using bubble sort, insertion sort as well as selection sort. Now I will be continuing that same topic where I will be discussing the algorithm and the problem what I have given I am going to solve here, and the same method will be followed with next two videos also, where I'll be explaining the algorithm of insertion sort and I'll be solving the problem. Okay, so both are important. They'll ask you the algorithm or they'll ask you the problem to sort the given numbers using either insertion sort, selection sort or bubble sort, or then ask you the program also. Program I have listed in your PDF. The same content, the same algorithm or the same concept what we have explained in the terms of algorithm will be in your program also. So once you understand the algorithm, you can understand the program also. Now coming back to the topic, which is today we are going to discuss in this session, I am going to explain about what is bubble sort. So bubble sort, so we'll be using the logic to something like this. So we have step 1, we have steps of 7 steps. This algorithm is of 7 steps, which will be used for sorting this given set of number or any given set of numbers in ascending order. So here, first we are going to check whenever you see this term repeat. This repeat is nothing but will be representing any loops. Okay, so we'll be using for loop here. So I have mentioned repeat step 2 for I equals to 0 to n minus 1. So in the given example, if I consider the number of elements what we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So number of elements what we have for this algorithm is 7. Okay, and initially I we are going to start with 0. So I'll consider this as pass 1. So pass 1, in pass 1 first we are going to write I equals to 0 and n minus 1, that is until I reaches, that is I less than n minus 1, which is nothing but 6. Okay, so that is until this step is satisfied, this content is satisfied, we are going to repeat some set of values. Okay, so these statements. Now in the second step or second for loop, what we have a repeat step 3 for j equals to 0 to n minus I minus 1. So we are going to take one more value, which is j equal to 0, and we are going to initialize till j is less than n minus, that is 7 minus I minus, which is 0 minus 1, which is nothing but again j less than 6 we are going to get. Okay, so again for that statement, once that statements are true, for that statement we need to execute these set of if condition. So how that is done? So we are going to just draw an array like this for this values what you have, and these values will be like our index values. As you know, array will start from 0. Since I have started I also with the value of 0, so our index also we want to start with 0. So we are going to have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and these are the array elements. Okay, so n value is 7. Now here first pass what I am going to get is I equal to 0, I less than 6, which is true. Again j equals to 0, j less than 6, that is also true. So j value is what? 0, which is less than 6, that is true. So when that is true, so we are going to execute these statements. What is this statement is? We are going to compare first a of j. A of j is what? A of 0, which is nothing but a of 0 is what you are going to have as 12. A of 0 is 12. If it is greater than a of j plus 1, a of j plus 1 in the sense a of 0 plus 1, it will become a of 1. So a of 1 what we have? 4. So this condition is true. If this condition is true, these statements what it will do? It will swap the elements. Okay, so it will swap the elements as we are going to interchange these two values. If we interchange those two values, I am going to get the result as 4, 12, 28, 3, 14, 7 and 21. Okay, so this will be once j loop or inner for loop. This is the outer for loop and this is the inner for loop. Okay, this is outer for loop, this is the inner for loop, that is nested for loop what we have one for loop within another for loop, or any one statement within other statement will consider as nested statements. Similarly, we have one for loop inside which we have one more for loop. So this for loop, if it is executed once, we are going to get the first result like this. Next again if you consider the same statement, so this for loop will be executed for second time. So which one? This j loop will be executed for second time. When it is executed for second time, j will be incremented to 1, so which is j plus plus. So once j will be incremented to 1, it will become whether 1 is less than 6, that is also true. If that is true, the same steps we are going to repeat again. So if we are going to repeat the same steps again, as you know, this will become array. So where you will have the values like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now we are going to compare whether a of j. So that is a of j is nothing but a of 1. What it is? 12. Whether it is greater than a of j plus 1, that is 28. No, this is false. So false in the sense we are not going to swap. So the numbers will remain as it is. Now again, the step will be repeated again. If the step will be repeated again, we are going to get j will become 2, 2 less than 6. That is also true. We are going to compare next two elements. If I compare next two elements, a of 2 is what? 28. If it is greater than 3, then it is true. So if it is true, we are going to swap these two elements. If I swap these two elements, so I'll get 3 here and 28 here. Okay, that will be our next result. Okay, when j equals to 2, I'm going to get the result as 4, 12, 3, 28, 14, 7 and 21. Okay, so we are going to have the result like this. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so after this again j will become 3 now. If j is 3, so 3 less than 6, that is also true. So if 3 less than 6, then we are going to compare these two elements, that is 28 and 14 will be compared. Both are, so we are going to check whether 28 is greater than 14. So that is true. So if that is true, we are going to swap these two elements. If we swap these two elements, here in this place I am going to get 14 and this place will be occupied by 28. Okay, hope this is clear. First we are going to start with 0. So we are going to compare first element and second element when j is 0. When j is 1, we are going to compare second element and third element. When j is 2, we are going to compare third element and fourth element. When j is 3, we are going to compare this third index value with the fourth index value. That is, we got till here. Okay, again the steps will be repeated again. So remember, I value was 0 itself. I value was 0. Only j value is changing. Okay, so I will remain as it is. I will remain as it is. I less than 6, which was true. So we have completed till j equals to 3. Now again j is equal to 4. So 4 is less than 6. That is also true. If that is true, again we are going to compare this fourth element with fifth element. If both are compared, we are going to check whether 28 is greater than 7. That is true. If that is true, we are going to swap these two elements. So I am going to get, in this place we are going to have 7 and here we are going to get 28. I am going to just erase this. Clear? Okay. So when j equals to 4, when we compare this, we will get the result. That is, if we compare 28 is greater than 7, so it was true, so we are going to exchange. After that, j now it will become 5. So if j becomes 5, 5 less than 6, that is also true. If that is true, we are going to compare the last two elements, that is fifth element and sixth element. Once I compare, what we are going to compare, whether 28 is greater than 21, so that is also true. If that is also true, then we are going to make this exchange. So this will become 21 and this will become 28. So Now when you observe the largest element of the input, when the whatever input you have given, the largest element will move to the last position when the first time the inner loop has completed. Once the first time the inner loop has completed, the largest element will be moved to the last position. Okay, so again, so if I increment j, now j will become 6 and 6 less than 6, which will be false. So once that is false, we are going to stop once the execution of this for loop. The inner for loop will be stopped for once. So after it has stopped, it will go back to the outer for loop. In outer for loop, I was initially it was 0, 0 less than 6, it was true. Now I will be incremented. If I will be incremented in the sense, so this will start again where I will be incremented to 1 and 1 less than 6, that is true again. So once the largest element has moved to the last position, this will complete pass 1. Pass 1 is completed when largest element is moved to the last position. That is, once the inner for loop is executed, for every inner loop or this loop's execution, one pass will be completed. So one pass will be completed for each and every time a J loop is completes its execution. So once the J loop has started with 0 and it has ended at 6, so it has completed 1/6 execution. Now second time when it starts, so j will be equal to 0, so I equals to 1, I less than 6, that is true. Once this is true, it will come to the second step. Second step, what it does, j we want to initialize it to 0, 2, j is less than, until where it is reaching, n value was 7, number of elements was 7, 7 minus I value is 1 minus 1, that is nothing but j will be now 5. In the sense, previously we were executing till 6 or comparing till 6. Now we will be comparing only these elements till 5. We are going to ignore the last element. Why? Because the largest element has placed in its position. Okay. Now again, if I repeat the same step again, I'm not going to explain in detail now. I'm going to explain. I'm going to go faster. And if we compare these two elements, 4 greater than 12, no, we are not going to swap. Next we are going to compare 12. So that is when j equal to 0, we are going to compare these two elements. When j becomes 1, we are going to compare these two elements. Whether 12 is greater than 3, so that is true. If that is true, this will become 3 and this will become 12. Okay. And again, when j equals to 2, these two elements are compared. Is 12 greater than 14? No, we are not going to swap. When j will become 3, we are going to compare these two elements. Whether 14 is greater than 7, that is true. So I am going to get 7 here and I am going to get 14 here. And again, when I compare these two elements, when j equals to that is say 4. So when I compare these two elements, whether 14 is greater than 12, no, that is not true. This will remain as it is. So once j reaches 5, 5 less than 5 will be false. So then we are going to stop there. So when this position happens, the second largest element will be reached in the last position. So that is pass 2. Okay. Again, this step will be repeated again. So this stops and I will become 2 now. 2 less than 6, which is true. So if that is true, we are going to compare these two steps again. 4 is greater than 3, so true. So I am going to get 3, then 4. Then we'll compare 4 and 12. So 4 is not greater than 12, so it will remain as it is. We'll compare 12 and 7. So it is greater. So I'm going to get 7 here, and here I'm going to get 12. And I'm going to compare 12 with 14. So 12 is not greater than 14. So we are going to stop here. So you can see the elements are already in ascending order. If it is not sorted, we are going to continue the same steps multiple times. Okay. So now if you observe, we have 3, 4, 7, 12, 14 and 14, 21 and 28, which is in ascending order. So this is about bubble sort. So where we'll be using these two for loops followed by if statement. So this will be your actual logic. In your program you can observe, we'll have one outer for loop, one inner for loop, one if statement. I will be writing the same steps in the program also. Apart from this, we'll be having only input of number of elements, array elements, and printing of the elements. Okay, so just go through that program. So this you have already studied in your first semester, the same topic, which is bubble sort. Okay, the next session I'll be explaining about insertion sort and selection sort. Thank you.